हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू द लाइव सेशन। तो अब हम देखने वाले हैं एनसीईआरटी पॉलिटी का टेस्ट सीरीज़, जिसमें कि आज हम देखेंगे टेस्ट नंबर 5। तो शुरू करते हैं हमारा आज का टेस्ट सीरीज़। तो आप भी पढ़िए क्वेश्चन, और अगर आपको आंसर आता है तो मेरे साथ अटेंड कीजिए। तो फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है, which of the following statements are correct? Article 26 of the Constitution of India states that subject to public order, morality and health, every religious denomination or any section thereof shall have the right to establish and maintain institution for religious and charitable purposes, manage its own affairs in matters of religion, own and acquire movable and immovable property। तो इसका आंसर है डी 1, 2 and 3। Establish and maintain institution for religious and charitable purposes, manage its own affairs in matters of religion, or own and acquire movable and immovable properties। Second question है, which of the following rule is correct as far as the Vice President of India is concerned? Chairman ex officio of the Lok Sabha, ex officio Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, acting Speaker of the Lok Sabha, President of the Red Cross। इसका आंसर है एक्स ऑफिसो चेयरमैन ऑफ द राज्यसभा। Which of the following statements are incorrect? The fundamental rights granted by the Indian Constitution are absolute. The fundamental rights of the Indian citizen are non-justiciable. The fundamental rights of the Indian citizens are justiciable. The fundamental rights of the Indian citizen protect them against the tyranny of the majority। Select the correct answer from the quotes given below। तो इसमें से इनकरेक्ट स्टेटमेंट्स पूछा है, तो इसका आंसर होगा डी, जिसमें कि फर्स्ट है द फंडामेंटल राइट्स ग्रांटेड बाय द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन आर एब्सोल्यूट। सेकेंड है द फंडामेंटल राइट्स ऑफ द इंडियन सिटीजन्स आर नॉन जस्टिसेबल, और द फंडामेंटल राइट्स ऑफ द इंडियन सिटीजन प्रोटेक्ट देम अगेंस्ट द tyranny ऑफ द मेजॉरिटी। Indian Constitution is a combination of federal and non-federal features. Point out the non-federal features from this: all India services, flexibility of the Constitution, supremacy of the Constitution, bicameralism। Select the correct answer using the codes given below। तो इसका आंसर है ए, ऑल इंडिया सर्विसेज और फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। In case of any denial of the fundamental rights, how can it be protected by a citizen? By approaching a court of law, Supreme Court will direct Parliament to implement. The executive will inform the courts. It is automatically protected। तो इसका आंसर है by approaching a court of law। Which of the following are appointed by the President? Judges of the High Court, Lieutenant Governor of the Union Territories, Vice President, Chief Election Commissioner। तो इसका आंसर है सी, ए, बी और डी, जजेस ऑफ द हाई कोर्ट, लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर ऑफ द यूनियन टेरिटरीज और चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर। The preamble enshrines the ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity inspired by the Russian Revolution, Irish Revolution, French Revolution, US Constitution। तो इसका आंसर है फ्रेंच रिवॉल्यूशन। Which of the following powers of the Prime Minister in relation to the President have been listed correctly? He communicates all the decisions of the Council of Ministers to the President. He supplies such information to the President regarding proposals of legislation and administration of the Union as the President may need. He signs the bills passed by the two houses of the Parliament on behalf of the President during his absence. He assists the President in making all the appointments. तो इसका आंसर है C 1, 2 and 4. He communicates all the decisions of the Council of Ministers to the President. He supplies such information to the President regarding proposals of legislation and administration of the Union as the President may need, or he assists the President in making all the appointments. Which of the following statements are true with regard to the military powers of the President of India? The Constitution vests the supreme command of the defense forces force in the President of India. The President's power to declare war or peace is subject to regulation by Parliament. The President needs the sanction of the Parliament to expend on training and maintaining the defense force. As Commander-in-Chief of India, the President is independent of legislative control. तो इसका आंसर होगा D 1, 2 और 3. The Constitution vests the supreme command of the defense forces in the President of India. The President's power to declare war or peace is subject to regulation by Parliament. The President needs the sanction of Parliament to expend on training and maintaining the defense forces. Consider the following statements. The President has the right to address and send messages to the Council of Ministers to elicit specific information. The President can direct that any matter on which decision has been taken by a minister should be placed before the Council of Ministers. The President can call for information relating to proposals for legislation. All decisions of the Council of Ministers relating to the administration of the Union must be communicated to the President. Which of these statements are correct? So इसका आंसर है B 2, 3 or 4. The President can direct that any matter on which decision has been taken by a minister should be placed before the Council of Ministers. The President can call for information relating to proposals for legislation. All decisions of the Council of Ministers relating to the administration of the Union must be communicated to the President. Consider the following statements. The charge of violation of the Constitution by the President of India for his impeachment cannot be preferred by a House unless a resolution containing the proposal is moved after a 7 days notice in writing, signed by not less than 1/4 of the total number of members of that House. The resolution is passed by a majority of not less than 2/3 of the total membership of that House. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है B 2 only. The resolution is passed by a majority of not less than 2/3 of the total membership of that House. Consider the following statements about private members. MPs who are not ministers are called private members. Private members can introduce a constitutional amendment bill. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? इसका आंसर है C both 1 and 2. MPs who are not ministers are called private members, or private members can introduce a constitutional amendment bill. The members of the Constituent Assembly were directly elected by the people, all nominated by the Indian National Congress and the Muslim League, indirectly elected by the provincial assemblies, all nominated by the British government. तो इसका आंसर है indirectly elected by the provincial assemblies. The policy of legislative devolution, which ultimately culminated in the grant of complete autonomy, was introduced by the Indian Councils Act 1892, Minto Morley Reforms Act 1909, Government of India Act 1858, Indian Councils Act 1861. तो इसका आंसर है Indian Council Act 1861. Which of the following statements is or are correct in respect of the Constitution of India? The Constitution received signature of the President of the Constituent Assembly on 26 November 1949. The provisions relating to the citizenship were given immediate effect from 26 November 1949. Select the correct answer using the code given below. तो इसका आंसर है C, both 1 and 2. The Constitution received signature of the President of the Constituent Assembly on 26 November 1949. The provisions relating to citizenship were given immediate effect after 26 November 1949. Which one of the following has been wrongly listed as the duty of citizen as outlined in Article 51A? To uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of India, to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood among the people of India, to practice family planning, to protect and preserve the natural environment. तो इसका आंसर है C, to practice family planning. Which part of the Constitution of India refers to the responsibility of the state towards international peace and security? Fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy, emergency provisions, preamble to the Constitution. तो इसका आंसर है डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी. What is meant by saying that the directive principles of state policy are non-justiciable? In case they are violated, the matter cannot be taken to the court. Courts are debarred from consideration of directive principles. The law of the land does not recognize their existence. They are not absolute. इसका आंसर है B, one only. In case they are violated, the matter cannot be taken to the court. Which one of the following is not stated as a directive principle of state policy in the Constitution of India? To protect the natural environment and wildlife, living wages for workers, just and human condition of work and maternity relief, protection of monuments. तो इसका आंसर है to protect the natural environment and wildlife. What is the consequence of the writ of habeas corpus? The person under detention is set free. The public servant is restrained from taking any action. The officer not competent to take certain action is told not to go ahead with the actions. More information is sought from lower court. तो इसका आंसर है the person under detention is set free. The Constitution prescribes the way of detecting the practice of untouchability, abolition of untouchability as a directive principle of state policy, abolition of untouchability as a fundamental right, punishment for the practice of untouchability. तो इसका आंसर है abolition of untouchability as a fundamental right. Who issues the writs for the enforcement of fundamental rights? Both the Supreme Court and High Courts, the Supreme Court only, the district courts, all the above. तो इसका आंसर है both the Supreme Court and High Courts. The power of the judicial review, which is vested in the Supreme Court of India, implies that it can review the functioning of the judiciary in the country. It can examine the constitutional validity of the laws. It can review its own judgment. It can undertake periodic review of the constitution. तो इसका आंसर है B. It can examine the constitutional validity of the laws. Which of the following statements regarding the advisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court are correct? It is binding on the Supreme Court to give its opinion on any matter referred to it by the President. The full bench of the Supreme Court hears any reference made to it under its power of advisory jurisdiction. The opinion given by the Supreme Court on a reference under advisory jurisdiction is not binding on the government. Not more than one reference at a time can be made to the Supreme Court under its power of advisory jurisdiction. Select the answer from the courts given below. तो इसका आंसर है C 2 and 3. The full bench of the Supreme Court hears and reference made to it under its power of advisory jurisdiction. The opinion given by the Supreme Court on a reference under advisory function is not binding on the government. When the Chief Justice of a High Court acts in an administrative capacity, he is subject to 10. The writ jurisdiction of any of the other judges of the High Court, special court exercised by the Chief Justice of India, discretionary powers of the Governor of the state, special powers provided to the Chief Minister in any regard. तो इसका आंसर है discretionary powers of the Governor of the states. With reference to start question, consider the following statements. Start questions are important and hence answers to them have to be given in written form. Answers to start question can be followed by supplementary questions. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है B 2 only. Answers to start question can be followed by supplementary questions. 27 मैच द फॉलोइंग है. लिस्ट 1 में है पौंडीचेरी, अंडमान एंड निकोबार आइलैंड, लक्षद्वीप, दामन एंड दीव. लिस्ट 2 में है मद्रास, कलकत्ता, केरला, बॉम्बे. तो ये यूनियन टेरिटरीज है और ये उसका जुरिडिक्शन है. तो इसका आंसर देखते हैं. पौंडीचेरी का मद्रास, अंडमान एंड निकोबार का कलकत्ता, लक्षद्वीप का केरला और दामन एंड दीव का बॉम्बे. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए 1, 2, 3 and 4. The salary and other allowances of the judges of the High Courts are charged to the Contingency Fund of India, the Consolidated Fund of India, and the state on 50-50 basis. The Consolidated Fund of India, the Consolidated Fund of the state. तो इसका आंसर है the Consolidated Fund of the state. Consider the following statements. The Chief Justice of a High Court is appointed by President in consultation with the Chief Justice of India, Governor of State, and Chief Minister of India. For appointment of a judge in High Court, recommendation for the appointment of judges is initiated by Chief Justice of the High Court concerned. The judges of a High Court hold office up to 65 years of age. To be eligible for appointment as a judge, one must be a citizen of India and should have held a judicial office in India for 10 years or must have practiced as an advocate of High Court or two or more such courts in succession for a similar period. This answer is B. 2 and 4 are correct. Which of the following falls within the supervisory powers of the High Court? To call for reports from the subordinate courts under its jurisdiction, to make general rules and prescribe forms for regulating the practice and proceedings of lower court, to settle tables of fees, to be allowed to serif and others practicing before these courts, to supervise the working of tribunals constituted by or under any law relating to the armed forces. तो इसका आंसर है डी 1, 2 and 3. Parliamentary authorization for payments is required for Public Accounts of India, Consolidated Fund of India, Contingency Fund of India. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर है B. 2 only, Consolidated Fund of India. What will follow if a money bill is automatically amended by the Rajya Sabha? The President may call a joint sitting for passing the bill. The Lok Sabha may send the bill to the Rajya Sabha for reconsideration. The Lok Sabha cannot consider the bill further. The Lok Sabha may still proceed with the bill, accepting or not accepting the recommendation of the Rajya Sabha. तो इसका आंसर है D. At the third reading of the bill, the committee chairman presents his report. The dissenting report is submitted. The bill is discussed clause by clause. No substantive amendments to the bill is proposed. तो इसका आंसर है no substantive amendment to the bill is proposed. Which of the following circumstances would lead to the resignation of the Union government? When Parliament fails to pass the budget, when Parliament fails to pass a constitution amendment bill introduced by the government, when a bill introduced by the government cannot be passed in the Rajya Sabha, When the vote after the debate on a motion for discussing a majority policy initiative of the government goes against the government, select the correct answer using the codes given below. So इसका आंसर है B 1 and 4 only. Which of the following statements about the National Commission for Scheduled Caste (NCSC) is incorrect? NCSC is a non-consolidated statutory body. NCSI still performs similar functions with regard to other backward classes as a side in respect of SCs. The responsibility for laying before the Parliament the report of the current Commission along with the action taken in the report rests with the President. NCSC also participates in the planning process of the government for development of SC. Which of the above statements is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए ओनली वन. NCSC is a non-constitutional statutory body. Consider the following statements in the context of the various jurisdictions of the Supreme Court. Supreme Court cannot refuse to tender its advice when asked to tender such an advice by the President under Article 143. Judgments of Supreme Court under its advisory jurisdiction have the same effect as any other Supreme Court judgment. Supreme Court has exclusive and original jurisdiction in case of dispute between two or more states. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है सी ओनली 3. Consider the following statements comparing the appropriation bill and finance bill. No amendments can be moved in case of appropriation bill while they can be in case of finance bill. The appropriation bill is meant only for withdrawal of money from the Consolidated Fund of India, while the finance bill is meant for both withdrawal and putting resources of taxation into the Consolidated Fund. Appropriation bill can be rejected in Rajya Sabha, while the finance bill cannot be. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? इसका आंसर है C1 and 3. Consider the following statements regarding the governance structure of municipal corporation. Mayors in India do not have any executive authority. The municipal commissioner of the corporation is appointed by the mayor. Mayor in council is an ornamental figure and a formed head of cooperation. Which of the statement given above is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है C 1 and 3. Which of the following statements is or are correct in the context of the questions and discussion in Parliament? 0 hour is the hour for discussion held after question hour according to Lok Sabha rules. Half an hour discussion can be held on important matters raised in start, unstart, and short notice questions during question hour. Debates are not allowed on any matter raised through questions during question hour. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर है C 2 and 3 only. Consider the following statements comparing the provisions relating to the persons of Indian origin and overseas citizens of India. Persons from Afghanistan and China are eligible for OCI but not for PIO. OCI do not require a visa to travel to India while PIO do. PIO require more time to become citizen of India than OCI. PIO can acquire agricultural property in India while OCI do not. Both PIO and OCI schemes are provided for through the Citizens Act. Most of the statements given above are incorrect. तो इसका आंसर होगा D 1, 2 और 3 इनकरेक्ट कुछ है इसमें. What are the difference between the offices of the Attorney General and Solicitor General of India? Attorney General is a continuous constitutional body while Solicitor General is not. Solicitor General is subordinate to the Attorney General of India. The Attorney General advises the government on legal matters only while the Solicitor General appears on behalf of the Union government to fight cases in courts. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर है A 1 and 2 only. Which of the following statements regarding the making of the Indian Constitution are correct? Some of the princely states were not represented in the Constituent Assembly. Elections to the Constituent Assembly were direct but with a limited franchise. The Constituent Assembly also functioned as a provisional parliament. Some of the constitutional provisions came into effect before 26 January 1950. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर है B 1, 3 and 4. Which of the following statements regarding the making of Indian Constitution are correct? Sorry, ये वाला क्वेश्चन है. Which of the following statements are correct in relation to the acting and ad hoc judges of the Supreme Court? Ad hoc judges are appointed from among the retired judges of the Supreme Court. Acting judges are not deemed to be judges of the Supreme Court. The consent of the person himself is required in case of appointment as either acting judge or ad hoc judge. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. इसका आंसर है D 2 and 3. Consider the following statements in the context of Indian and international criminal courts. India has neither signed or nor ratified the Rome Statute on the International Criminal Court. Rome Statute on the International Criminal Court defines war crimes, including the armed conflict, not of an international character. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? इसका आंसर है A only one. Which of the following statements regarding summoning and ending of parliamentary sessions is incorrect? Adjournment sign die is done by the President while adjournment is done by the Speaker. Prorogation ends the session of the House while adjournment only ends the sitting. Both houses need not be prorogued at the same time. Dissolution of the House happens either automatically or by the President. तो इसका आंसर है adjournment sign line is done by President while adjournment is done by the Speaker. Consider the following statements regarding interstate relations in India. Zonal councils have been set up in India under Article 263 of the Constitution. President of India is the head of the Interstate Council set up in 1990. Recommendation of the Interstate Council set up under the Constitution on disputes between states, regionalism, etc. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? इसका आंसर है C only 4. ये 3 होगा. Consider the following statements regarding a no confidence motion in the Parliament. There is no mention of a no confidence motion in the Constitution of India. A period of 6 months must elapse between the introduction of one no confidence motion and another. At least 100 members must support a motion of no confidence before it is introduced in the House. A motion of no confidence can be introduced in the Lok Sabha only. Of the statements, A 1, 2 and 4 are correct. Who among the following has the right to vote in the election to both the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha? Elected members of the lower house of the parliament, elected members of the upper house of the parliament, elected members of the upper house of the state legislature, elected members of the lower house of the state legislature. तो इसका आंसर है D. Elected members of the lower house of the state legislature. In the absence of the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker, who presides over the deliberations of the Lok Sabha? Prime Minister, Home Minister, oldest member of the House, one of the members of the House out of a panel of 10 persons nominated by the Speaker. तो इसका आंसर है D. One of the members of the House out of a panel of 10 persons nominated by the Speaker. An appropriation bill is necessary to draw money from the Consolidated Fund of India cannot be amended to vary the amount of any charged expenditures, includes only the expenditure charged on the Consolidated Fund of India, is required to withdraw money from the Contingency Fund of India. तो इसका आंसर है C 1 and 2 is necessary to draw money from the Consolidated Fund of India or cannot be amended to vary the amount of any charged expenditure. The role of the Finance Commission in center-state fiscal relation has been undermined by the state governments, zonal councils, planning commission, central government. तो इसका आंसर है प्लानिंग कमीशन. Among the following, which is or are a part of alternate dispute resolution? ग्राम न्यायालय, फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट्स, लोक अदालत. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर है बी 1 and 3 only, ग्राम न्यायालय एंड लोक अदालत. Which among the following factors are responsible for increasing control of the center over the states in India? Lack of strong leaderships in the states, enforcement of party discipline, economic dependence of the states on the center, emergence of regional parties. Choose the correct answer from the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर होगा A 1, 2 and 3. Lack of strong leadership in the state, enforcement of party discipline, economic dependence of the states on the center. Consider the following statements. Zonal councils have been established under an article of the Constitution of India. There is a provision under an article of the Constitution of India that an interstate council can be established by the President. The Union Home Minister is the ex officio chairman of all the zonal councils. Which of the statements given above are correct? इसका आंसर है C 2 and 3 only. The members of the interstate councils are 6 cabinet ministers nominated to it, chief minister of all states, secretaries of union ministers, governors of all states. इसका आंसर है A 1 and 2. 6 cabinet ministers nominated to it and chief ministers of all states. Which of the following authorities recommends the principles governing the grants in aid of the revenues to the states out of the Consolidated Fund of India? Finance Commission, Interstate Council, Union Minister of Finance, Public Accounts Committee. तो इसका आंसर है फाइनेंस कमीशन. The famous JVP committee consisting of Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel and Pattabi Sitaramaiah was appointed in December 1948 to examine the case of establishment of secular polity in the country, examine the issue of reorganization of states on a linguistic basis, determine the compensation to be paid to the rulers of Indian states consequent to the merger of the states with India, none of the above. इसका आंसर है बी एग्जामिन द इशू ऑफ रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑफ स्टेट्स ऑन ए लिंग्विस्टिक बेसिस. The President can declare constitutional emergency in a state only on the recommendation of the Union Council of Ministers, only of the recommendation of the Governor, only on that recommendation of the Governor, if he is satisfied that a situation has arisen in which the government of the state cannot be carried on in accordance with the Constitution. तो इसका आंसर है D. If he is satisfied that a situation has arisen in which the government of the state cannot be carried on in accordance with the Constitution. Which of the following steps cannot be taken by the President during the financial emergency? Direct the Union and the state governments to observe such canons of financial propriety as he deems desirable, suspend the fundamental rights of the Indian citizens, order reduction of salaries and allowances of all the civil servants, order the reduction of the salaries of the Supreme Court and High Court judges. तो इसका आंसर है A 1, 3, and 4. Which one of the following bodies of Panchayati Raj institution works as watchdog of the Gram Panchayat? Gram Sabha, Panchayat Samiti, Panchayat Union Council, जिला परिषद। तो इसका आंसर है ए, ग्राम सभा। Which among the following is an informal device in Indian parliamentary practice? Question hour, 0 hour, half an hour discussion. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर है बी, 2 only, 0 hour. In the Panchayati Raj Bill enacted in 1993, there are several fresh provisions deviating from the past. Which one of the following is not such a provision? A number of added responsibilities in the area of agriculture, rural development, primary education, and social forestry, among others. Election being made mandatory for all posts at the time they are due, a statutory representation for women in the panchayats up to a third of the strength, regular remuneration to the panchayat members so as to ensure their punctuality and accountability. तो इसका आंसर है डी, regular remuneration to the panchayat members so as to ensure their punctuality and accountability. With reference to cut motion, consider the following statements. Cut motions are moved only in Lok Sabha. The speaker decides whether a cut motion is admissible or not. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है सी, both 1 and 2. Cut motion are moved only in Lok Sabha. The speaker decides whether a cut motion is admissible or not. The head of the government of J&K is known as the CM, the Premier, the PM, Sardari-e-Riyasat. तो इसका आंसर है ए, द CM. Consider the following statements with respect to the 73rd Constitutional Amendment. It provided the legislature of a state may, by law, make provisions with respect to the composition of panchayats. All the seats in a panchayat shall be filled by persons chosen by direct election from territorial constituencies in the panchayat area. The chairperson of a panchayat and other members of a panchayat, whether or not chosen by direct election from territorial constituencies in the panchayat area, shall have the right to vote in the meetings of the panchayat. Every panchayat, unless sooner dissolved under any law for the time being in force, shall continue for 5 years from the date appointed for its first meeting and no longer. Which of these statements are correct? तो इसका आंसर है डी 1, 2, 3 and 4. Under the new committee system, each standing committee shall comprise 20 members of Lok Sabha and 10 members of Rajya Sabha, 30 members of Lok Sabha and 15 members of Rajya Sabha, 25 members of Lok Sabha and 10 members of Rajya Sabha, 10 members of Lok Sabha and 5 members of Rajya Sabha. तो इसका आंसर है बी 30 members of Lok Sabha and 15 members of Rajya Sabha. Which of the following is incorrect in respect of local government in India? According to the Indian Constitution, local government is not an independent tie in the federal system. 30% of the seats in local bodies are reserved for women. Local government finances are to be provided by a commission. Elections to local bodies are to be determined by a commission. तो इसका आंसर है ए. According to Indian Constitution, local governments is not an independent tier in the federal system. ये incorrect statement है. Seats are allotted to the various states in the Lok Sabha on the basis of their population, their size and resources, and population according to the provisions made in the original constitution. तो इसका आंसर है their population. Consider the following statements. Which of the following are correct regarding the Gram Nyalas Act 2008? The Gram Nyalas shall be established for every panchayat at intermediate level or a group of contiguous panchayats. The Gram Nyalas shall be static courts and shall exercise the powers of only civil courts. The Nyadhikaris who will preside over these Gram Nyalas are strictly judicial officers and will be deriving the same powers as first-class magistrates working under high courts. The Gram Nyalas shall not be bound by the rules of evidence provided by the Indian Evidence Act 1872, but shall be guided by the principles of natural justice and subject to any rule made by the High Court. तो इसका आंसर है बी 1, 3 and 4. In which of the following situations the seat of a member of parliament becomes vacant? If a person is disqualified for being a member on the ground of defection, if a member resigns his seat by writing to the speaker or the deputy speaker as the case may be, if a member is without information of the House absent from all meetings for a period of 60 days. Choose the correct answer from following course. इसका आंसर है डी 1, 2 and 3. who will preside over a joint sitting of the Parliament in case of the absence of the member and deputy speaker. A senior member of the Parliament, chairman of the Rajya Sabha, vice president, deputy chairman of the Rajya Sabha, pro tem speaker. तो इसका आंसर है डेप्यूटी चेयरमैन ऑफ द राज्यसभा. Which of the following states have bicameral legislature? Bihar, UP, Tamil Nadu and J&K. Bihar, UP, Karnataka and J&K. Maharashtra, Karnataka and Kerala. MP, West Bengal and Karnataka. तो इसका आंसर है बिहार, यूपी, कर्नाटका एंड जम्मू एंड कश्मीर. Which of the following fall within the financial powers of the Indian Parliament? The Parliament can reduce or reject the demands of the government. The Parliament can propose any tax. No expenditure can be incurred without the sanction of the Parliament. No taxes can be levied without the consent of the Parliament. तो इसका आंसर है A 1, 3 and 4. The Parliament can reduce or reject the demands of the government. No expenditure can be incurred without the sanction of the Parliament. No taxes can be levied without the consent of the Parliament. What is the maximum period up to which the legislative councils can delay the consideration of a bill that has been already passed once by State Assembly of the state? 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. तो इसका आंसर है 1 month. Consider the following statements. The highest criminal court of the district is the Court of District and Sessions Judge. The district judges are appointed by the governor in consultation with the high courts. A person to be eligible for appointment as a district judge should be an advocate or a pleader of 7 years standing or more, or an officer in judicial service of the union or the state. When the session judge awards death sentence, it must be confirmed by the high court before it is carried out. Which of the statements given above are correct? इसका आंसर है A 1 and 2. Which one of the following powers of the state legislature has been incorrectly given? It takes part in the election of the president. It plays an important role in amendment of the constitution. It considers the report of the State Public Service Commission. तो इसका आंसर है B2. It plays an important role in the amendment of the constitution. इसमें incorrectly given बोला है. The power of the Supreme Court of India to decide disputes between the center and the states falls under its advisory jurisdiction, appellate jurisdiction, original jurisdiction, constitutional jurisdiction। इसका आंसर है सी, ओरिजिनल jurisdiction। Which one of the following is part of the Electoral College for the election of the President of India but does not form part of the forum for his impeachment? Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, State Legislative Councils, State Legislative Assemblies। इसका आंसर है डी, State Legislative Assemblies। Which one among the following statements about the functioning of political parties in a democracy is not correct? Political parties give political education to the people. Political parties serve as the link between the government and the people. Political parties fight election and try to get the maximum number of their candidates elected. None of the above। इसका आंसर है डी, none of the above। Which article of the Constitution of India says no child below the age of 14 years shall be employed to work in any factory or mine or engaged in any other hazardous employment? Article 24, Article 45, Article 330, Article 368। तो इसका आंसर है Article 24। When was the mandate that a candidate at an election should file with his nomination papers an affidavit recording the particulars of the spouse and the dependents enforced at a general election for the first time? Assembly elections held in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh in December 2003, Assembly election held in Mizoram in November 2003, Assembly elections held in Himachal Pradesh in 2003, Assembly election held in Rajasthan or Delhi in December 2003। इसका आंसर है सी, Assembly election held in Himachal Pradesh in 2003। Under which Indian ministry does the National River Conservation Directorate function? The Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Water Resources, the Ministry of Rural Development, the Ministry of Environmental and Forest। तो इसका आंसर है the Ministry of Environmental and Forest। As per Indian protocol, who among the following ranks highest in the order of precedence? Deputy Prime Minister, former President, Governor of a state within his state, Speaker of Lok Sabha। इसका आंसर है Governor of a state within his state। Which of the following committees or commissions recommended the establishment of Lokpal at the central level? Balwant Rai Mehta Committee, Administrative Reforms Commission, Committee on Lok Adalats, Citizens Redressal Commission। इसका आंसर है Administrative Reforms Commission। When can citizenship not be terminated? When there is emergency, when there is war, when there are elections, it can be terminated regardless of conditions। तो इसका आंसर है when there is war। In which one of the following areas does the state government not have control over its local bodies? Citizens' grievances, financial matters, legislation, personal matters। तो इसका आंसर है A, citizens' grievances। Consider the following statements. The right to education law covers the disabled children too. The shadow teachers are allowed in Indian education system. RTE ensures free and compulsory education of all children in the age group of 6 to 14 years as a fundamental right. Which of the above statements are correct? इसका आंसर है 1, 2 and 3। Under the Scheduled Tribes and Other Traditional Forest Dwellers Recognition of Forest Rights Act 2006, who shall be the authority to initiate the process for determining the nature and extent of individuals or community forest rights or both? State Forest Department, District Collector or Deputy Commissioner, Tahsildar or Block Development Officer or Mandal Revenue Officer, Gram Sabha। इसका आंसर है डी, ग्राम सभा। As ordinance issued by a governor can remain in force on its own for a maximum period of a year, 3 months, 6 weeks, any length. इसका आंसर है 6 weeks. The Constitution 73rd Amendment Act 1992, which aims at promoting the Panchayati Raj institution in the country, provides for which of the following: Constitution of district planning committees, state election commissions to conduct all panchayat elections, establishment of state finance commissions. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर है C, 2 and 3 only. Which one of the following qualification for the office of the governor has been wrongly listed? He must be a citizen of India. He must not be less than 30 years of age. He must not be a member of either House of Parliament or state legislature. He must not hold any office other than any other office of profit. तो इसका आंसर है बी, ही मस्ट नॉट बी लेस देन 30 years of age. ये रॉन्ग है. Which one of the following was not proposed by the 73rd Constitutional Amendment in the area of Panchayati Raj? 30% seats in all elected rural bodies. The states will constitute their finance commission to allocate resources to Panchayati Raj institution. The Panchayati Raj elected functionaries will be disqualified to hold their offices if they have more than 2 children. The election will be held in 6 months' time if Panchayati Raj bodies are superseded or dissolved by the state government. तो इसमें नॉट प्रपोज बोला है तो इसका आंसर होगा सी. The Panchayati Raj elected functionaries will be disqualified to hold their office if they have more than 2 children. The Constitution of India recognizes only religious minorities, only linguistic minorities, religious and linguistic minorities, religious, linguistic and ethnic minorities. तो इसका आंसर है religious and linguistic minorities. Consider the following statements with reference to India. The Chief Election Commission and other election commissioners enjoy equal powers but receive unequal salaries. The Chief Election Commissioner is entitled to the same salary as is provided to a judge of the Supreme Court. The Chief Election Commissioner shall not be removed from his office except in like manner and on like grounds as a judge of the Supreme Court. The term of the office of the Election Commissioner is 5 years from the date he assumes his office or till the day he attains the age of 62 years, whichever is earlier. Which of these statements are correct? तो इसका आंसर है B, 2 and 3. The Chief Election Commissioner is entitled to same salary as is provided to a judge of the Supreme Court. The Chief Election Commissioner shall not be removed from his office except in like manner and on like grounds as a judge of the Supreme Court. तो इसी के साथ हमारा आज का टेस्ट सीरीज़ ख़त्म होता है. और अगर आप चैनल पर न्यू हैं तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए और नोटिफिकेशन आइकन पर क्लिक कर दीजिए ताकि आप डेली लाइव क्लास ज्वाइन कर सकें. और अगर आपको वीडियो अच्छा लगे तो लाइक कर दीजिए. तो हमारा आज का सेशन यहीं तक था. थैंक यू. थैंक्स फॉर ज्वाइनिंग.